Okie dokie. Getting back to the build. So as you probably have seen in the forums, we have some new rails coming. However, the Z-axis is still going to be with the Chinese rails. And these bearings feel pretty tight enough, and the Z-axis won't be moving all that rapidly in comparison to the X and the Y axis. And so I'm only going to upgrade the LDO rails on the core XY section of the machine. And I'll probably take the current rails I have and incorporate them into my old printer upgrade that I was working on before I started the Jubilee Project. So, who knows? Maybe I'll stream some of that build once I get around to it, but that is neither here nor there. Not today. Alrighty. Make 3 assemblies using each lead screw retainer from the prior step. Fully tighten the screws into the rail, ensuring the T-drop-in nuts seat. Oh, that's a mistake. I think Josh is going to recommend using these T-slot nuts from now on, especially on the rails, so you can make sure you have a proper engagement. So, let's gather our verticals. For anyone who might see this that's interested in the Jubilee Project, it is definitely a lot of fun. I don't know that the budget is realistic as you continue to buy pieces for the Jubilee and start to build it. You might realize you need more tools, or you might want to do some various little upgrades. Not that that should scare you away from the project, but consider it that this is not a kit that you're putting together. It is a project that is going to evolve as you build it. Some of that evolution may be reduced as time in the BOM and get hammered out, but there'll always be new ways, new pieces, new extruders, new filament, different things that you might want to do with the printer as time progresses. So it'll never necessarily be a fixed, this is what I buy, this is all I need type of situation. But that is also what makes it so much fun to work on a project like this, because you've got a lot of people that all want to have certain things a certain way. And that's what makes it fun. Here we go. Did not find extra aluminum. That's interesting. I'm not 100% sure what this piece of extrusion is. because I have these. Does seem to be an appropriate length. Well, I'll set. Maybe it pops up later in the build. Let's see where we're at with this. So this is a 409 millimeter piece. We need 430 millimeter extrusion, which is, I'm assuming what this is. Yep, 430. Now why do I have an extra piece of 409? Very curious. Alright, we'll just set that off to the side. Maybe I bought an extra piece, I have no idea. I suppose that maybe we'll just switch to top-down view for now. So there's our 3 pieces for that, and then I'm assuming the rest of these 4 will be our 4 corners of the machine. Also, don't necessarily be alarmed with the number of videos in this series. You may very well build this much quicker than I have been. For a couple of reasons. One, I can only work on this once in a while. Or I mean, for short periods of time. You know, an hour, hour and a half. It's probably wasted a lot of time learning how to set up live streams. So there's that. Actually, alright. Oh, actually, before you drop these in, putting a little Loctite in the T-nuts is a good idea. So I kind of do it in an odd way. I'll go from the back and drop a tiny little drop into the threads. Although sometimes that tiny little drop is a little bit bigger than intend. This blue Loctite from the bomb, kind of runny, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just sometimes a little extra gets applied. Hey, it's Brian.
Hey, hey, how you doing?
Good. I'm just talking to myself until somebody joined the channel.
I had to let my Levi finish watching birds on the iPad. he was watching a bird video and he was very interested in it. It was wasn't going to take that away from him because he was pretty focused.
Indeed.
But he's still staring at the iPad.
Well, hopefully I'll be as entertaining as birds, but I somehow doubt it.
Well, you're on the. I've got the iPad streaming to the television.
Gotcha.
Well, I've got the voice channel over here. There's been a lot of stuff going on in the Discord channels.
Yeah, I am way behind in several of the forums. It's hard to stay up on it with so much going on.
Yeah, it looks like Ziltech just posted that they've got the short blocks and the long blocks.
Yes, yes.
And seriously, dude, of course, because yeah. Anyway, short blocks, long blocks, and Phillistruder, I think, has got the LDO rails.
Yeah, I just ordered a set for the Core XY section of the machine. I wasn't
Oh,
gonna
really?
go. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't like the feel of the
The other rails.
Yeah, there's good enough for the Z-axis. The Z-axis ones seem pretty okay, but I just never really cared for the Y-axis that much.
Okay.
And if
And
I
so
had
you
what's that?
you flush those up against the bottom.
I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
You flush those up against the bottom of the rail.
Oh, I have not quite got to where I want it to be yet. I just kind of dropped it. It's still super loose.
Okay, so here's something that I discovered earlier today or last night when I couldn't sleep. Michael over at Teaching Tech did a review on adding rails to his Ender 5 and Ender 3. And the manufacturer, let me see if I can find it real quick. Ender 5, there we go. So yeah, Exoslide, no, that's not the Exoslide. There we go. Just found it. It came out yesterday. Doggone it. Queue. Added to the queue. Let's look at the queue. Let's see if I can pull this up while we're talking. So one of the things that he did is it is the printer mod site. Oh, he is so mad. Oh my God. Gonna be so mad. Okay, there you go. Printer mod site, printermods.com. He's got a linear rail adapter kit, but dude, seriously, and there he goes. Part of the kit is a set of the linear rail kit is you download some alignment print. Okay? So you print an STL and its alignment, it's used for aligning an MGN 12 to trying to find the instructions. So you align the rails using our printable rail alignment tool, and it snaps onto a 2020 and it lines up the rails. And you put a couple of these on there, and it lines up the rails on the 2020 extrusion. And being is that everything we've got are 2020 extrusions, this this download might be useful.
Sounds like that would have been a great thing to print last night.
Yeah, well, there you go.
But yeah, I mean, I'll get it with the calipers. But it does sound like that would be a good thing to use. It looks like
Here we go. MGN 12 alignment tool for 2020 rail. And I'm going to see if I can copy the link. Copy. And I don't know if this is going to work if I put it in the Discord chat, but we'll give it a shot. Hey, CK. Still having trouble with your mic? There we go. It's an MGN 12 alignment tool in the chat.
Awesome.
And now I need to get back to the right YouTube video.
How long do you think this print would take?
Well, you need several of them. It's not very big. It's probably, 20 centimeters tall? Give or take?
Probably longer than I would want to take right now.
No, but it's something I think would maybe...
It would be useful.
I think it'd be something worth throwing out there for...
Yes, add it to the Jubilee kit of tools. And
yeah.
No, we did not hear you, CK.
Nope, we cannot hear you. Try again. Where is Steve? It's Friday night. Steve should be here. You joining...
I think he usually comes in a bit later. This is weird. For some reason, I can't seem to get a consistent measurement off of this.
Well, this is where the...
Dual would come in handy?
Yeah, because it snaps onto the rail, right? It's 20 millimeters wide, and it snaps onto the rail, and it's got the 12 millimeter by 8 millimeter profile of the rail cut out of the middle, and it's centered. So you just snap that on there, and it lines it up, which is almost identical to the guide that I have printed out for the White Knight. And so you print 2 or 3 of them, and you snap them onto the rail and the extrusion, and it holds it tight. I don't know if I want to. I think I'll throw an at.
I don't think it matters if the rail is perfectly centered as long as it's as long as it's consistent down the length of it, though, right?
Well, the idea is that you snap this on, in 3 places along the rail, and then you don't have to worry about the parts are identical, right? They're identical within.
Again, I'm not arguing against using the tool. I think it's a good thing. I just meant, like, for me at this very moment, I think I can get away with.
Oh, I think, yeah, you can get away with it. Sorry, we can't hear you. Hello.
Hey, now.
Hey, there we go.
Hey, there we go. Sort of.
Hey,
You might want to mute the YouTube stream.
I check. How to, can yes, sir. Anyone?
Getting there.
Are you using a voice activation, or are you using push to talk, or just always on?
So I don't have my computer, so I am using Discord from.
Oh, from a phone or mobile device?
Yeah, the Discord
Yeah.
from a phone does not work as well as one would wish.
Oh, I'm using my iPad, but I'm on Wi-Fi, so.
Yeah, I've tried.
Some settings that.
Sorry, CK, you cut out
Are
there
you
again.
measuring? Are you measuring some? I don't know. Are you typing up something?
I'm
Just to make
I'm
sure.
just basically I'm just trying to make sure this rail is consistently vertical with the extrusion. This is going to be part of the Z-axis of the printer.
Yeah, as Brian said, I did see something up that aligns this rail along the 2020 extrusion that makes it easier for tightening. I forgot the.
Yeah, I would print them, but I kind of don't have anything else to work on right now. So let's either do this way, or I will have to give up live streaming for the night.
That's all right. We want to see you struggle with the calipers.
I think I'm getting the. I think I've got the method down with the calipers now. The next one won't take me so long.
So I've got. Go ahead.
Just an update. I bought the Ender 3 Pro today. I just got home. I just bought. So thought of exploring printing before actually building one.
Oh, congratulations!
Know what I mean?
An Ender 3 is a good start. It's a for the price, the quality is can be very good.
It's a good, very solid beginning printer, I think, from what I understand.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw a video where a guy he cuts Ender 3 Pro. He converts the mechanism from normal wheels to rail. That's when I got to know there is an aligning tool. That's why I just. Uh, I got a deal in Micro Center actually. Micro Center is selling that for cheap now. It's like 209.
Oh, that's a pretty good price for the Pro.
The Micro Center on 14 Mile.
The voice just got cut. I didn't hear it.
I said the Micro Center on 14 Mile.
Which what did you say? Can
Yeah, the your connection with Discord is pretty terrible on our side too.
But if I play it on YouTube, my TV is running YouTube right now. If I play voice over that, I can hear you perfectly, but my voice is gonna echo again. Oh.
Yep, that's
my
the same thing. I'm streaming it to the TV and using my iPad for the
streaming it. So you're talking directly to YouTube? You streaming through Can we run a live stream from this?
The live stream can be run from Discord, but when I do it on YouTube, people can watch it after the live stream is over. If it's just on Discord, then that's it, one time and it's over. Not that I.
Let me try some. I'll connect back or connect right back.
Not that I expect there's a whole lot of people watching this afterwards.
Well, I mean, you might get 10 views.
What's that?
You might get 10 or 12 views.
No, I do actually. I get more views than I would think, but I would have expected. But yeah, I don't think the retention is all that great.
That's okay. Mostly this is, the last couple of nights have been me cuddled up in my chair with the cat, and or at least earlier this week it was me in my chair with the heating pad and a blanket and a cup of tea. So fighting this, trying to get over this cold.
You do sound better tonight. Is that just my imagination, or are you getting better?
It's moving into my chest. It's moving out of my head and down into the chest.
Is that a good thing?
No, I mean, it'll mean I'll be coughing for the next month, probably.
Yeah. Believe me, I'm familiar with that. I spent several months coughing last year, so. It's kind of nice when I just want to kind of loosely tighten the screws. The torque pulls the screwdriver right off my thumb right off the forward button. Right at the amount of torque I really kind of just wanted to give it. It's convenient.
I think it's printermods.com.
Poof, just, oh, you see that, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's printermods.com. Of course, I could just be flat out typing it wrong.
Did I? No, this is right.
Yes, it's printermods.com. They have a pretty neat modular MDD direct drive kits. They have the linear rail kits for the Ender 5 and for the Y-axis on the Ender 3. The kits for all of like $15 for the X-axis and $25 for the Y-axis. And and you source your own rail.
Say that again. You're buying what that has that for the X and Y axis? A kit of some sort?
No, it's still an issue. He's asking if we can direct link to it. And it's like, no, it's go to print. I say go to printermods.com and get it from there. I mean, that's the link for it directly. But if we're not calling out printer mods, I think that might be might be not cool. Maybe I could be wrong. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think, yeah, linking to it would be the best way because they have,
Not linking directly to the download, but linking to the website and saying you can find it there. Linking it to the product page or the support page, because that way they're seeing. That way they're seeing the. Doggone it. Oh, we're getting a loop back. What did I do?
you didn't, CK did.
Okay.
It's funny, we're hearing ourselves more clearly through CK's chat than we heard CK.
Here we go. It's I think it's better that if we're going to link rather than link directly to the file download. Send people to the website for the folks who are selling the stuff, because that way we're kind of not endorsing, but because it's a lot. They've got other things. They've got direct drive kits for renders, and they've got LED
Are they going to
kits.
have to hunt for it, or is it direct?
No, I gave them the link right to the support page for the downloads.
Okay. Just as long as people don't have to hunt for it, I think is important as well.
Let's find out. Nope, because I gave them the link and it says linear rail printable files, end stop adapters, belt adapters, MGN 12 alignment tools, and MGN 9 alignment tools.
You know, some days.
And then tensioner tools. And the tensioner tools are when you're working with these machines, and it gives you something that you can hold on to and put tension on the belt while you're snugging it up. Instead of trying to just pull and tighten, you could snap this thing in and kind of push on it with your thumb.
I'm going to mute CK until he figures out what he's doing so that there's not an echo back in the YouTube channel.
Echo.
Let me know when he figures it out.
Brody. Sorry.
I didn't know Picard was out yet.
That's not Picard. That's Lock and Key.
So sometimes I really question my ability to do anything. Like when I completely ignore the fact that this is on completely backwards. There's only one way to screw it up, and I managed to do it.
Must watch Picard with a friend. It's critical for the friend. It's like, go.
I have tomorrow off. How about that?
Yay!
I have the whole weekend that I don't have to work.
And I'm on call this weekend because one of our guys is still out on temporary disability.
Oh, don't worry. I don't think I'm going to be live streaming any earlier than normal.
Okay. Looks like Steve has joined, but he's not talking.
Yeah, I just hopped on.
Oh, well, there you go.
How's it going?
Good. I'm hopefully going to start putting my printer together this weekend.
Yay!
Any luck
I'm
at
printing? That's tomorrow. I go to ship everything tomorrow.
He says that.
So hopefully, as long as I can get there before 3 o'clock.
Okay, so
please make your best effort because I really kind of.
Are you in Central Time Zone?
Eastern.
You're in Eastern? Okay, so we should start calling you around 9 a.m.
Well, don't worry. My fiance already has plans for me because I think we're supposed to be seeing a couple wedding venues around then.
Oh, I mean, are you shopping for wedding venues?
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. Smile and nod
So
a lot. She is always right.
that's pretty accurate. Yeah.
How far in the future is the wedding?
October.
Oh no! Please don't schedule it for the same weekend as Earth.
Probably.
Oh, you sound so disappointed.
I think it's like we're planning on like what the honey is it the 3rd? Yeah.
So you're gonna honeymoon at Earth.
Yeah, I could totally go for that. I think I might not get killed.
No. There's lots of cool stuff around there as well.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be going to the East Coast Rep Rap Festival.
Her response was or, and then to look at me and let me know that that's not happening.
Okay then. Oh well.
How far is the East Coast Rep Rap Fest from you?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
It's a 5-hour drive.
That's Murph for me.
5-hour drive.
Yeah, Murph.
Who just posted?
Murph is 14. Yeah, that's mine.
Okay. You mounted yours on the bottom?
No. That is an CR10S5.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That is the work in progress that is preventing me from starting my printer this weekend. Because this is the second CR10. I finished the CR10S earlier this week. This is the one that I'm finishing the rebuild on. That has to be done. Hopefully I can finish it tomorrow. It has to be done this weekend. And this is a SKR Pro.
Yeah, the Pro 1.
So this is an upgrade to a Pro 1.1, a 24-volt power supply, and a Hemera, and an AC hot end. And the Hemera
or bed.
What's that?
AC bed, you mean?
Yeah, AC bed. Yeah. Did I say hot end?
You said hot end. I was going to be like, what the hell are you melting with that?
Everything. We're melting glass, actually. We're putting in glass. Now that would
sounds
be
cool.
We could do it, and people have. That would be awesome, though. Can you imagine? Use deposition, but the material is glass.
Yeah.
We could do some beautiful things with that, especially if you've got a doping channel where you could dope the glass as it's molten.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not going to think about that right now. This is the CR10S5. It's got the SKR with 2208s on it. It's running Clipper. The orange, this picture doesn't have the fan duct for the steppers. So it's got a blower channel that snaps over the steppers. And not only does it snap over the steppers, the edge of the vent duct locks down the stepper motor clips.
Okay.
Or the plugs. So as the plugs go into the stepper motors, this fan duct comes down and locks them in place. So they can't come out. I'm picking 12 volts off of the board to drive the Easy ABL.
Okay.
Because the Easy ABL is what I've already got mounted on it. I'm using the probe port or the probe pin for the end stop. So I'm doing, because it's Clipper, I've got a virtual end stop.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to use out.
Okay.
So, and it's running a Pi 3B plus to drive it.
Did you
on
see the announcement on the Pi 4s this week?
Yep, the 1.2 version on the 2 gig Pi 4 is $35. I'm hesitant to order one anytime right away because I'm afraid that I'm not going to get the 1.2 version
Yeah.
because it's got the USB-C fix in it as well. They fixed that.
Yeah, I'll check the Micro Center here.
Okay.
They typically get them like first day or two.
All right. Yeah.
So you're saying the Raspberry Pi that I just got is already out of date?
Which one did you get?
The Pi 4.
1 gig, 2 gig, 4 gig.
I honestly can't remember. I think I got the 4 gig.
Okay. The big change is in the 2 gig. They dropped the price by $10 and they released an update to it. So they fixed the USB-C problem and they dropped the price. Now, the 1 gig model is still $35. So they didn't drop the price on the 1 gig model and they didn't release a fix on the 1 gig model. So I think what they've done is they managed to get discounted pricing on a whole mess on a full production run or something of the 2 gig chips. So I am so with the Duet 3 and the Pi, would a Pi 4 be the right way to go on that? Or are we looking at it? Do you think a Pi 4 is the right answer, or is a Pi 3 the right answer?
I don't know. I'm not really an expert on that, so.
Okay. Yeah, and I was looking up the fan. So the tool boards went with 12 volts only. And they've got a PWM. There are both of them are PWM fans on the Duet tool boards. One of them's got a 1-pin tack, and the other one's got a 2-pin tack.
What was your question about the Pi 3 or Pi 4?
For the Duet 3, which is the better one?
Pi 4, I believe, is what Daniel was putting all of his efforts into.
Okay. That's
You'd
fine.
have to verify with him, but I'm pretty sure he did a bunch of porting things over and whatnot specifically for the 4.
Yeah. All right then. That's easy enough. I haven't ordered one yet, but yeah. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, might not be a bad idea to verify with him in case I'm crazy. It's been known to happen.
It's a thing. Yeah, I've got to tear the bed apart on this S5 and tear the bed down, take off the old heater, put on a Canovo heater, wire it in, put in the fuse, the safety fuse. Wire it up, then add it back in, and then adjust the configuration. The thing I really like about Clipper is the configuration is so easy to change. Like if I want to adjust all the menus, if I want to do custom menus in it, Steve, you've done that, right?
I've not messed with Clipper a lot, but I've seen it and I've looked at it and it looks really easy.
Yeah, if you want to make like a whole custom menu structure for the display on the machine, it's essentially you're just building it out in the configuration file. It's kind of like XML, but not really.
Yeah. The only thing I had there was questions around what displays it supports and how, right?
It's usually depends on the board. So the board, what I've run into a couple of times is like the display that I've got. I was trying to reuse the Creality CR10 display, but the 12864,
right.
Whatever. I had one that I pulled off. I don't know if I pulled it off the Ender 3. I think I pulled it off the Ender 3.
Okay.
So the one I had that came with the Ender 10S or the Ender 5. I can't talk. I'm way tired. The one I pulled off the CR10S5. Even if I turned it around and plugged it in, I couldn't get it to work. using the defaults, but I went to an Ender 3, an older Ender 3. I had to turn expansion 3 port. The plastic, I had to turn the plastic housing around, and then once I plugged the cable in, it just worked with the with whichever configuration file you use for the boards that you're using. So, but the thing is, if you're using, welcome back. If you're using Clipper and you're planning on using Clipper in multiple SKRs to drive your Jubilee,
yep.
You don't even really need a display for the machine.
Yeah.
Just get put a touchscreen console on your pod.
Yeah, run Octoprint.
Yep, and run it on Octoprint. There's some other folks out there working on other interfaces for Clipper. Octoprint so far is some of the best, and Themify will give you some really useful.
The only reason I was slightly interested is when I bought all my SKRs, I bought the TFT 35s.
So there's an open issue with Clipper because it's using serial.
Right.
Right. I've got TFT. I've got a TFT 24 and a TFT 35, and I've run into some issues getting it to talk properly.
Okay.
And it's mostly having to do with the way the emulation is working, because the TFT 24s and 35s are emulating. Careful now! Don't drill into your hand. We'd hate to watch an accident happen. Anyway.
It's kind of funny. I don't even have the drill in my hand anymore, of course.
Well, okay, delay, lag. Anyway, I just looked up and I saw you holding it and drilling straight into your hand. And I was like, are we watching an industrial accident?
No, the bit couldn't get that deep.
Yeah, because OSHA. Living in a world of OSHA violations. Come and see. Yeah, Charlie.
Oh, whoops! Forgot to mute myself again.
That's okay. So anyway, yeah, that's. I think it's going to be interesting to see how that works with multiple MCUs. But my understanding is that Clipper doesn't care. Night. Good night. Sleep well. See you in the morning. So it's going to be interesting, but you should be able to drive them all. It's just making sure that you've got you're following the guidelines for multiple MCUs. You know, MCU 1, MCU 2, and then whenever you're doing pin callouts, you're calling out the right MCU on it because you have to put a header. Essentially, you have to put a prefix as to which MCU you're talking to. So. And I am actually not talking to anybody.
I know. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
My fiance came over and started stuffing delicious food in my mouth.
I'm here. I'm just muting myself so you don't get bothered by the drill.
Oh, no. I couldn't tell if I had been. Sorry, we just saw you lose your bet. Anyway, well, congratulations on the wedding.
Yeah.
Wish you all the best.
She puts up with my shenanigans.
Wait a minute. Are you going to the place? You're going to that place called Shenanigans? The thing with the all the kits on the walls.
Yeah, I that's where I pretty much kind of live,
Oh my gosh.
in a world of shenanigans.
I just looked up and saw you fling the block off the
Yeah.
table.
I believe that would be called a work holding error.
Yeah, there's a thing.
The bit is locked into the print at the moment.
Yeah.
It must have melted and got stuck.
Yep.
You need a vise.
Yeah, that's when you guys were talking about buying like that little mill the other day.
Yeah.
That
Still
was what I was
thinking.
going to bring up. Is the problem with little mills like that with is that essentially since that motor has no torque to it,
Yeah.
what they typically do is run it at a really high RPM,
Yeah, like 10,000 RPM. It's
like
that's
10,000
a little.
RPM or something like that. And that's what makes it unusable for aluminum, because the amount of heat that you'll build up is
Yep.
significant enough that it'll just weld whatever bit you have straight to the aluminum at a certain point.
Oh yeah.
And also, it won't take chips; it will make glitter.
Yes. Yes, it will. Make it
The finest electronic killing glitter.
Yeah, I'm quite familiar with the machining operations. I was looking at a Grizzly, actually, and
Yeah.
with manual machining.
Yep.
Although
The 50 whatever.
not
405. 405.
Yeah, I think the 405 or the other model.
That one's the standard one that everybody converts to CNC eventually.
Yeah. Occasionally, we've got a lot of machine shops right here. So you can find older gears that they're rotating out.
Oh, I have had offers here. The problem is that by the time I do all the things that I need to do to have something that big in my garage, I'm out a lot of money. And then the fun part is, I'm going to have to move it again in another 6 months to a year when we move. So,
yeah, there's
nothing like paying somebody to come out with a concrete saw and put in a heavier pad, and an electrician to come out and add an additional 220 circuit to the garage, only to rinse and repeat in like 6 months to a year. So,
yeah.
The deal I have with the fiance is that I hold off on anything like that's significantly big until we buy a new house.
So what you're saying is you're buying a shop with bedrooms attached.
Yes, it is in fact a shop with bedrooms. That is my goal.
And
The bedrooms.
She is listening to this in the background, going, "Uh-huh."
Oh, she knows. We've had a lot of houses that we've looked at, and my one thing has been I need a shop, and some of them they're like, oh, it has a shop in it, and I go down there and I'm like, it's some guy's little woodworking shop in a corner.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, or it's a 2-foot bump out in a garage. And I just kind of chuckle at them.
So you want something like Mandela Works or Rosa?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm ideally it would be 700 to 1,000 square foot.
I want Frank's shop. I want Frank's shop big time.
Yeah.
Although I can't do what he did.
What's that?
Have you ever watched Frank Makes?
Yeah.
Okay, so I finally went back and watched his video about the making of the shop.
Yeah.
His shop is gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's absolutely beautiful.
I have a friend who is seriously into woodworking, and when I mean seriously, I mean seriously into woodworking. His current shop is 2,500 square foot.
That's bigger than my house.
Yeah, I know. It's bigger than my house. You could put my house inside that. And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And he has all the toys. He has, how ShopBot makes like the different sizes. He has like the largest size ShopBot that takes full sheets of 8x4 plywood.
Yeah, no, yeah, believe me, it's got a 5x9 bed.
Yeah, it's.
I've got a Maslow here that I'm having assembled yet because I don't have the space for it. You still trying to get the drill bit out?
Yeah.
Okay. Worst case, you can
Blowtorch?
No, I've got it pushed almost all the way out. I just ran out of bolt.
Steve, I just showed you what's at one of my local Craigslist listings.
And CK, no, we can't hear you. Sorry.
SGF, don't do it. Seriously, dude.
Yeah. Yup.
Man.
Mine was. Oh, hey, now I think we hear you.
You heard me?
Yeah.
Yep,
Yes,
absolutely.
we can hear you.
Awesome. Okay, so I isolated my Wi-Fi. So I'm watching the video on my computer, but I'm using my phone's Discord on the network, mobile network, so they don't clash. There's some kind of issue going on. I didn't know what to do. Okay. Now I can hear you guys.
Good. Welcome.
Cool.
Right?
I need to find a longer bolt.
So yeah, Brian.
Yes.
The Bridgeport clone is in your listing for like $3,000 or whatever.
$200 for it.
The guy that I was talking to a couple months back, or it was more than, it's probably a year ago now. He basically offered a Bridgeport that was in pretty decent condition for like $800 because he just needed it out of his shop.
Take it away, please.
Yeah, he was like, look, he's like, it'll cost you more to have it carted away and taken to your place than I'm gonna make off of it. So there you go. And I was very close to pulling the trigger on that one.
There. Got it, finally.
Yay.
Cool.
Victory. Yeah, as much as I was dropping stuff, I stopped working on that other printer because I got to the point where I couldn't. I was dropping things more often than I was successfully attaching them.
Okay.
You know, sometimes you get to that point.
Oh. The press came in handy in a way I'd never considered before.
Yeah. So I shared the linear rail alignment clips that I saw on Teaching Tech earlier in the Discord.
Yeah.
Yep, I saw that link. I cannot open it my computer now. If I open my phone will just disconnect.
No worries. But
Yeah, I saw the
yeah,
link. Thank you for
the
that.
whole assembly is pretty straightforward. It's not super hard.
Yeah, I would do that later, like after 1 or 2 months. Yeah.
But I've got a similar set that I printed out as part of the tools that go with the White Knight, Mac Designs White Knight belt printer.
Okay.
They have an alignment an alignment set for mounting the rails on a 2040.
2040. Okay.
Extrusion, except you're mounting it down the center of the 40 millimeter side.
So it'll be wider.
Yeah, so so you're using a 20 millimeter by 40 millimeter extrusion, and the alignment brackets hold the rail centered along the 40 millimeter side, and you clamp it in place. So what you're doing is you're clamping it in place along the center of the 40 millimeter, which is you're not in the slot, you're between the slot, and then you drill and tap the 3 millimeter hole, the M3 hole. So you're tapping directly into the aluminum for the rail mount. And the goal, the methodology that Carl used when he was building these out, he clamps it in, gets it aligned, clamps it in place, drills it, cleans out the aluminum shavings, taps it, cleans out the aluminum shavings, mounts up drives all the screws in, and then it's got a little bit of wiggle. It's got a tiny amount of wiggle room for final alignment. Okay. But you've now hard mounted the rail to the aluminum extrusion on the 40 millimeter side. And then when he finishes the build, your blocks the rails are facing each other. So you're running along the rails, and the rails are inboard on the mount. Kind of like how the rails are set up for the Ender 5 from printer mods. So yeah. So Steve, I don't know if you've seen that before or not.
No, I've not seen that. I'm looking that up right now. Oh yeah, fuzz.
Which Brian talking the using
White Knight?
blocks to. I have not seen how it's assembled, but I have seen it.
Okay. Well, the block using these clamps. Carl uses clamps too when he's aligning the rails to the extrusions. Very similar to what printer mods does.
Yeah.
And this is where a chuck key comes in a drill that actually uses a chuck key instead of a friction lock.
So yeah, I was watching the teaching tech thing today, and I was thinking about some of the parts and thinking that rather than having like right now we have a method of measure, right? Where when you're assembling the first bars of the frame, you basically get them square to each other, and then slide things into place and measure from the ends of from the ends of the rods to line it, figure out where those bars should go.
Oh, and I've already got 25, 50, 75 blocks, and I'm using the 25 block and the 25 edge and the 50 edge when it comes to measuring those ends in, and against the surface where the granite plate I've got.
Yeah.
So when it comes time to measure that, I just set the blocks on, drop the rails down, snug them up, clamp them in place, and snug them up. So
my thought was, Josh could make a printable part.
You could.
For
you just have to.
who have not invested in as many
Tools.
toys as we have.
I mean, you could print a 25. You could make a block that print. You could make a block, a 25 millimeter or 50 millimeter block that just slides into that corner and gets clamped in place, right? And it has the elbow. It basically it's set up so that it's got a lip. I mean, I could knock one out here in a few minutes and have one.
Yeah.
So it's got a lip that goes around the end of the rail, right? And then it's 50 millimeters long.
Right.
It just gets clamped into place. And if you wanted to, you could even. No, the 20 millimeters don't. Do the 20 millimeters have an M5 in the middle? Are they tapped for that? No, I don't remember if they are or not. I don't have one in front of me. I think the 20 millimeter extrusions have got an M5 hole at the end.
Yeah, I think so.
Dude, that is R2's dome. I got to put that back.
Actually, when you order them, you can order them tapped as well.
Yeah, it's not worth the extra. Tapping a tap, it's already pre-drilled. I mean, it's extruded, so all you gotta do is run a tap in it. So, but my thought on that was, why does this stick you in plastic? Is you have that plate that's got an M5 hole in the end, right?
Right.
And then you just put it on there, you run a screw in it until it's snug down. You've got a 90-degree block on that.
Yeah.
And it holds it in place, right?
Yeah.
But the only thing with doing that is you're not able to tighten up the oh bother, the corner bracket, right? The hidden corner brackets.
Yeah, yeah.
Underneath it, but you could do the one on the other side of the rail.
Yeah.
You snug it up and then you take it off.
So, in Mizumi website, we get two types of tappings offered. One on the center and another one on the four sides. Do you think the four sides will be better option?
I think what we were talking about is just running an M5 tap down the center of the 20 millimeter extrusion.
Yeah, for holding it.
Yeah, so you could drive a screw into it to hold something against the end.
I also come across one of the brackets that Amazon has, the 3-way end brackets that just fits right into the slots in the end.
There are a number of brackets that can work. The Jubilee uses the hidden L brackets.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we noted during the build, and Eric ended up having to go back and essentially redo all of his brackets, is they tend to
only some.
Well, only some of them. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a few where I tightened them in the wrong order, and they can pull away, cause the extrusion to pull away when you're tightening them down.
So, but I think I could probably come up with something that would give us the dimensions that we need, while still allowing access to tighten up that bracket. And I think I could do it just by having some holes in the printed part. And I think, yeah, and we could do it. It could print it with no supports. I've already got the picture in my head, so I just got to jump over to SolidWorks and I can have something knocked out, probably sometime tomorrow.
Hey, I just sent a picture of what I was talking about.
Yep. Sometimes
Yeah.
those work really well.
Mm.
But and if you're building a cube like that, that might actually work really well for building enclosures.
Ah, okay. Okay.
There's
Yeah.
some the way Jubilee is built is there's some overlaps and
Ah.
the extrusions go past the corner because they're used for mounting points.
Hmm.
Levi, doggone it. Sorry, I have three very investigative cats right now who want to get in the middle of everything I'm doing.
Yeah.
I had to chase him away from live terminals last night because he started poking around. I'm sitting right there and he jumps up on the desk and starts sticking his nose into a live outlet. And it's like,
Uh-oh.
dude, that would not be good. So everything is unplugged right now, which is good, but doesn't prevent
Cats.
him from doing it while I'm working.
Cats. Mm. They are fun sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't own any.
Well, I don't know that anybody actually owns cats.
I
More of
mean,
like
I don't have a pet. Yeah.
more like they live here and I work for them.
I work for them. That's funny.
Yeah. I mean, dogs have masters, cats have staff. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
Anybody who's ever had a cat knows I'm telling the truth.
I
Indeed.
mean, I've seen how the videos says how it kind of attracts for us to feed them.
Oh yes.
Mm.
Yeah. Whereas my dog is just a complete idiot, and he'll go find anything that he can eat, including rocks or sticks.
Well, you've seen the branch manager and the assistant branch manager videos, right?
No.
No,
You've
no.
got two Goldens walking with a stick.
Oh
And
yeah.
one's bigger than the other one, and the big one's holding the long stick, and the other one's holding the same stick. So you get the branch manager and the assistant branch manager.
Yep.
Hmm.
My dog is worse. There's where we take him out in the backyard. There's a root that has come up through the dirt, but it looks like it's a stick laying on the ground.
Oh, I'm sure that drives him crazy.
He has been trying for the last like 4 years to pick that damn stick up, and it does not pick up, and he is very angry about it every time.
Aw, Dad.
And the thing is he's a tiny dog, so he's 11 pounds, and this stick is about would be about as big as him anyway. So he goes over and tries to pick it up, and it ain't budging, and he just like looks at me like, "What are you gonna do about this?"
And all three of my cats are bigger than any one of my cats. And yeah, pretty much any one of my cats is bigger than your dog.
Yeah,
Yeah, my cat would be too.
my fiance's parents have a cat that is I think like 18 pounds.
Yep.
Wow, 18 pounds.
And then I've got the 11-pound dog.
15, 14, and 12. The
Yeah.
old man is 12, but he was 22 at one point. So he's been on a diet, and otherwise he would just, he got really fat, but we got him way down and much healthier now. Anyway, I keep looking at these free Hughes disc or Dish Network dish, and it's like, what would I do with a parabolic antenna except coat it and paint it silver or paint chrome out the inside and turn it into a death ray?
Yeah.
You can use that as a Wi-Fi antenna.
Oh, I was thinking of making it a solar oven.
Oh yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah. Hey, Decker, what's up, dude?
Oh, this is a really frustrating spot to try to get a bolt.
So one of the things that I
would be
talked to
using those pliers to lay it in there.
Yeah, I don't know that I could even get players in there, but I can try.
Oh, don't you have the ultrafine needle nose?
Well, you know what? I do have a pair of tweezers here.
Okay.
That might work.
Anyway, you were saying?
Yeah, I was talking to Josh earlier. I was going over the 2.01 release because literally getting ready to start my build this week, and so I'm like, okay, and I'm moving to the aluminum crossbar. Make sure that I've got all the things that I need for it, right? And he does point out like the right motor plate spacer needs reprinted, and there's a limit trigger that you need to add, and there's the new switch and some stuff from McMaster-Carr,
Yeah, got all that today.
What needs to get reprinted?
The right motor plate spacer, and there's a X limit trigger that he has you print out. And then I pointed out that there's a section at the bottom that says, since Jubilee 1.0, you have to have reprinted the carriage back plate, the belt clasps, the printed police spacer, the post base, and the tool holder.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say whether you need to reprint those from 2.0 to 2.1.
No, you don't need those. Those don't change.
Because, well, when I pulled in the imports for some of them, there are changes, but it's mostly part numbers on stuff.
Yeah, he's been going through and adding all the part numbers. So they print on the part number prints on the part, which there have been some people who don't like that, but for the most part, I think it's useful to have the part numbers on there, especially where they can be seen without taking the thing apart. So you can see which version part you have actually installed.
Yeah. But I did note to him that a couple of the parts that are listed in this list have been changed. Like, for instance, at the top he lists right motor plate as required, but then not the left motor plate. And if you look at the left motor plate, he added that bumper feature that he added to the right one as well on the left one.
Oh, that's because the left one is just a mirror of the right.
Right. So there was, like I said, there was a couple things that I'm like, what, not completely sure, but he did a tiny update to it.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to pick a point in time.
That's kind of what I'm doing.
Yeah. Sorry. Ooh. Giant auger. No, just kidding. I make the mistake of looking through the tool section on Craigslist.
That's a mistake.
Yeah. It is. Craigslist is. I tried going through OfferUp, but it just got so annoying with all the, promoted this and promoted that. And it's like, and if you look at anything, every page you look at then has like 5 or 6 promoted items on it of the thing you looked at. And it's like, I'm not interested. Thank you. Go away. I didn't mean to click on that thing. Take it away.
Yeah.
What I am trying to find an upcut saw.
An upchuck saw?
Upcut. Although I did just find a 150-pound anvil that looks like it's in good shape. It looks like it's in good shape. But they want $500 for it. Oh well. Not that. I did spend a number of years doing blacksmithing in the summers.
Yeah.
Seem to have
I made
a
an
very
awful lot of
varied.
nails the first year. I made an awful lot of cast iron nails for the first year.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You're the apprentice. You get to pump the bellows and make nails. Okay. It was at a historical forge.
Red Fair or
No, not a Ren Fair. It was actually, this was at the, part of it was at the Up and Down Sawmill
okay.
up in Connecticut. Ooh, let's see what they want for this. Getting out of the knife making hobby. Want to clean out my garage.
Wow, his wife talked him out of it really quick.
Yeah.
Sounds like that.
He has a 40-pound power hammer.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I have a friend who his big Christmas present to himself this year was a CNC plasma cutter.
Ooh, that is one of the Lincoln ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, they make some nice ones, and they're not really expensive. You can get a 4x4 for under $2,000.
He's using it for. He started blacksmithing a couple years ago, and
It's a shop bot. That's a 5x10 steel table. It's got the 5 horsepower Colombo spindle.
nice.
It's got the upgraded Z on it. Includes the computers and a 15 horsepower vacuum hold down.
That's nice.
Yeah. Yes, Decker. Yes, you're a good boy. Yeah, so it's a 15,000. It's a but he wants 12 grand for it. I don't have space for a 5x10 shop bot.
Yeah. Heck, I'm still just trying to find parts for my shop that aren't going to bankrupt me.
It'll bankrupt.
The surface plate. I started looking at height gauges.
Oh,
and
yeah.
height gauges cost as much or more than the surface plate did.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Surface plates are you start getting into good gauges, you're gonna pay a lot.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, even I'm looking for even just entry level within $100 reasonably built, not junk, not going to tear up the surface plate, because a lot of the height gauges that are out there are with a magnetic base, and they're the same Chinese magnetic base that you find on all the junk tools that aren't deburred, and they're just going to tear up the surface.
Yeah, well, it's made it Chinesium, but a lot of them have a good solid bones that can be cleaned up pretty easily.
Yeah, I spent my time looking on Amazon and kind of at the end of the day said nothing on here short of, and the one that I found so far that looks somewhat reasonable quality wise is about 150 to 175.
Yeah, that's an entry level. That's a low end entry level.
Yeah.
This old Tony's got a really good couple of videos on some of his measuring tools.
And then going on eBay and looking for them, I thought that might be the route. But there's so many posted on eBay, and being able to tell the junk from what's worth your time is difficult.
I wouldn't really look at eBay unless you're looking at and then look for brand names that are
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, people were telling me, I knew, look for Starrett or Fowler, Midatoyo.
Yeah.
But even those, like I found a Starrett digital height gauge the other day on there, and it looked beat to hell. It was a 12 or 18 inch one, and they still wanted $300 for it.
Yep.
And I'm like, are you on crack?
Local pawn shops.
Yeah.
Seriously. That would be my next best bet, is going through your local pawn shops.
There's also a place, a friend of mine he works, as he puts it, on real CNCs, stuff that you make planes with.
Okay.
And he gets up to Chicago, and there's a place up by Chicago that he likes that what they deal in is they refurb stuff. They bring in bridge ports, they rebuild them, and they sell them. And a lot of times when they buy this stuff, they basically buy out like an entire shop.
Yep.
And so he's like, a lot of times they have stuff, he's like, especially stuff like 1, 2, 3 blocks, or, your parallels. He's like, you could buy a B grade or wander around their shop and find a AA grade from the 80s for, half the cost.
Yep. Have you ever heard of Joe's CNC?
No.
It looks like it's built out of wood. This is interesting. It might, this thing I'm going to post if you take. Oh, yeah, there we go. I mean, it might be worth it if he's got Mach 3 on there already. If it's a current
Yeah.
price. I don't know if you can see it. Dude,
yeah, no, I looked at it. It's crazy.
I mean, if he's got the controller and all the controllers in there and it works, I don't know how. I have a hard time telling how big it is. Oh, there it is. 45 by 24 by 5. So, not real big, and it looks like it's just wood.
Yeah.
It looks like a router head, not a true spindle.
Yeah. It looks like he's using cast iron pipe for the rails.
Yep. Joe CNC. It's joecnc.com. All right. DIY CNC. Yep, so it's for cutting plywood, and it's been around for a while.
Yeah. He has have you looked at the different series that they have, this guy has?
I'm just doing it now.
The 6? They don't look bad. Especially
Oh.
the newer ones, like the Titan. It's
Yep.
a little desktop CNC. And then the hybrid 4x4, and then the Evolution series.
Yep. Using rails.
What are these?
Using an 80/20 extrusion. He's the 3-inch by 6-inch one. That's a hefty extrusion.
These retainers, they're not really supposed to.
I'm sorry, what?
So the retainers, they're not really supposed to do anything, right?
They just keep the top of the Z rod or the Z screw from flopping around.
Okay.
They provide minor constraint at the top of the Z.
Because right now, I mean, it's kind of binding.
It just goes into the very top edge. and it provides some guidance on the top one. If you need to remove it, you can. But if your Z rail or not rail, if your lead screw is bent, it might cause a problem. If it's binding up, you might just need to clear it out a little bit.
Yeah, I just wanted it to be like, there we go. Now I can kind of.
It should just clear. It should just touch.
You know, I think there's a very slight difference in the height between the two is the problem.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I'm worried, like, as you get to the top of the stroke, if they're not the same height, it's gonna bind.
Yeah, that might be. I mean, they should be aligned.
Well, it's a 3D print on a rail on a 3D print. You know, it's hard to expect it to be perfect to the extent that it needs to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Ooh, here's an old Mark V basic shop smoker.
Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. I'd almost not worry about it until you get it mounted up. Oh no, because once it's done there, you can't take it off. Oh, you can. Yeah, you'll be able to take it off. You got the right. Well.
So there's an interesting thing on the Joe's CNC.
Yeah.
Did you see the fold-up version?
I did. I saw that and went, that could be interesting.
Yeah.
So he's been around for a while doing home-built CNCs.
Yeah.
And the builders forums are kind of neat.
Wow, somebody has way too much money on one of these builds. I was looking at it. It's all extrusions, the entire table.
Oh, was that on the evolutions or in the?
Yeah, it's on the evolution of the machines link. There's one that simply it's just titled aluminum extrusion, and literally the whole table is extrusions bolted together.
Oh yeah, that's all 80/20 stuff. That's actually not as expensive as you might think. One of the things that you run into when you start, and the waste table isn't extrusion, is not extrusion. That's a plate.
Yeah.
But when you run the numbers, if you are doing, when you compare what the welding is and stock metal and everything like that, and you throw it up against extrusions and the assembly, you actually come out saving money on the extrusions because of the assembly time that you're saving.
Yeah.
And this looks like it's not in a. This looks like it's actually in a shop.
Yeah.
So being able to get it up and running seems like it's probably significant time savings.
Yeah.
Because they probably decided they needed one and then just went out and got it.
So his newest one, the Titan, the little desktop one.
Hold on, let me see if I can get to it. The Titan desktop.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
rails and ball screws.
Okay.
I mean, it looks pretty reasonable.
Linear bearings, 4 points of contact with circulating ball bearings.
How much
That
is
is
that?
not a rail. What kind of rail is that? It's a 24 by 24, and it's got a real spindle on it.
Yeah.
How much is it?
Hold on.
He doesn't have it listed yet, I don't think.
Well, remember, you join it, and you get discounts for it's a club sort of thing. That's the Evolution kit with milled slots. Hybrid plans and access to our private builders forum is $75. So essentially, what you do is yeah, it's as much as anything. It's a CNC builders club.
Yeah.
Where people are sharing all the information and plans and things like that.
So I've got to go here in a bit, in a minute or two. But actually, one of the things that was on my list before the Jubilee came around is my friend who works on real CNCs, as he puts it, has had the idea for a while of building one out of composite granite.
The whole thing?
Yeah. For instance, and there's a couple of videos of people doing it. Basically, what you do is you make your molds out of MDF, right? And for instance, to mount your rails flat, you mount them, you check them that they're parallel.
Yeah.
And then once you know they're parallel and in place, you build your mold and you screw them into the mold from the reverse side with the bolts coming out of them into the space. And then you basically cast granite epoxy around everything. And then once the epoxy sets up and it's solid, you knock the mold out, knock the mold pieces loose with a chisel, and that becomes the frame of your CNC.
That sounds...
And there's... Sorry, you broke up there for a second, Brian.
Oh, that sounds heavy.
They are, but for real CNC, and if you see, there's, I'll see if I can find one or two of them and show you guys. But the guys who have built them, the stuff that the quality that they get out of them is just ridiculous.
Vendor epoxy granite machine frame, how to.
Yeah.
Hey, I just finished my solid granite CNC machine. I'd like to share the results.
Yeah. There's people who actually also build them out of granite slab. They go and they design it in CAD, and then they send it to a counter place and have them cut it out of slabs of granite, and they basically epoxy the slabs of granite together.
Wow. Wow. Well, here's an instructable for cast, including the Z.
Yeah.
It's like you got to be kidding.
Yep, you cast the whole thing. Since there's so much mass, they're really stable. They cut well. They don't have problems with vibration.
I'll bet.
So, it's actually, I was talking to at the time, a friend of mine was like, you know why every CNC to like 3D printer conversion that you see people do goes horribly, and like a $200 3D printer beats them out in quality? because they have opposite requirements.
Yep.
He's like, CNC, it can go slow. It's just got to be super, super accurate and take a ton of torque. There's
Yep.
a ton of torque going on when you're cutting with a big, motor going at fairly slow RPMs.
Well, yeah. I mean, you got to get the right RPM. One of the things that catches my eye is they're actually casting granite for the Z.
Yeah.
I mean, no, they're not. Okay, so the gantry. Okay, the gantry is in cast granite as well.
The one that I'll see if I can find the series, and it's in my YouTube list somewhere around here, and send to you. The thing that was really impressive about it is it was basically an email. It looked like a tag or a little mini Bridgeport.
Yep, I'm looking at the Hackaday epoxy concrete CNC milling machine.
Yep.
And it looks it's a bed slinger.
Yep.
All right. Well, it doesn't. I mean, a bed slinger is fine for this role. They're using water-cooled materials.
Yeah, I've seen them that were as small as like 24 by 18, that kind of size, and I've seen ones that are literally a full size, 14 or 16 inch travel on the X.
Yeah, I mean, you could do it, and it looks like this thing was cast in one piece.
Yeah, the one that I saw that I liked, I'll see if I can find it. The guy did it in about 3 or 4 pieces. It basically has a traditional ways, like on an email, and then a column for the Z.
Okay.
And his was super precise. Like, you watch the build, and of course he speeds it all up, in the video. So, an hour and a half or 2 hours in his basement is done in 10 minutes. But and play happy music to it, and you're thinking like, wow, I can do this.
Yeah, well, you can.
You can. It probably won't be as much happy music and a lot more swearing, but yes.
Well, the thing is, once you cast this thing in place, you're not doing. It probably weighs a ton.
Yeah.
It's one of these. Yeah, you built it. Now what are you going to do with it?
Which is once again why I'm not building anything until I'm in a new house.
There you go. So I'm looking at the Hackaday in the cast granite.
Yep.
There's also.
And then, have you seen Dan Gelbert's?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God! Have you ever watched his series?
No.
Okay, I need to find this and send this.
Okay.
He wrote a series, did a series of videos a couple years ago. They're like classics on hacking.
Okay. How to build a mill with epoxy. All right. John McNamara.
One thing that might be causing some of the binding is how centered the rail is, I guess.
Yeah.
To the retainer.
Oh, really?
So the series that you guys want to watch from Dan Gelbert is he has a series called Building Prototypes in 18, and it's basically, I think, 18 parts. And he starts with part 1 through 18, and then the one you want to see is his high precision air bearing CNC lathe and grinder.
Oh
It
boy.
is ridiculous. So if you look up who he is, the dude is worth a small fortune of money or two. He's
Yeah,
mostly self-educated.
I'm looking at some of these builds going, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got thousands of dollars in just the cross steel bracing before he's even cast the epoxy, which is about $100, right?
Yep.
For the epoxy, and you're going to use 8 or 10 gallons, not more.
So to give you an idea, this is a little bit of the backstory on like Dan that you can find out there. So he moved to Canada from Israel in 1947. He landed a job at McDonald, Detwiller and Associates. He was a pioneer in the designing of high-speed film recorders for satellite imagery. He was actively involved in the creation of mobile data terminals and the formation of Mobile Data Incorporated as a spinoff from MDA. And then he founded a little company called Creo, where he served as the chief technology officer and developed optical tape data recorders.
Jeez. One of those guys.
And he's done a lot since then.
Super smart and able to get things done and being in the right place at the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, upgrade is complete. Yay!
Yeah, he's known for, he formed a company called Cardium and another one called Icomed that are medical device manufacturers. And his company, Creo, was sold off to Kodak for $1 billion.
Yeah. We've got yeah.
So what you're saying is he might have a couple more resources than we do.
And he has a level of knowledge about machining and building and prototyping when you watch stuff with him in it that you're just like, holy hell, I hope maybe I have a chance of being that smart someday.
Yeah, I don't have any chance at this point. So anyway, yeah, I was looking at the fans trying to find alternate fans for the Hamaras.
Yeah.
And I found, so the Hamara fan, the 12-volt version, right? That moves roughly the same amount of air at the same static pressure. That has the same rate of static pressure. They're rated at 33 decibels for that fan.
Okay.
And that's for about 8.5 CFM at about 2 centimeters of 2 some odd. Oh, doggone it! I just had it. Of course, because I just had it in front of me. At about 2.5 millimeters of water, right? Which is not very much static pressure at all.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, "Oh no, don't use the Noctua fans. They don't move enough air." Except when you look at it, the Noctua fan.
Yeah.
Even the 4010s, PWM or Flex in the 12-volt, they go from like 2.2 to 1.95 static pressure,
right.
But they're still moving the same CFM. They're moving about 8.5 cubic, give or take, and they're running it under 20 decibels. And if you go with the 4020s, which the mass difference between a 4010 and a 4020 is minimal compared to Amera, right?
Right.
If you go with the 4020 Flex, right, or the 4020 PWM fan, that's 12 volts. It's got a static pressure of 2.26 millimeters of water, and it's moving more. It's moving about 9.5 cubic feet per minute. So it's another cubic foot per minute more air than the stock fan on the Hamera, and it runs at 15 decibels instead of 33.
Yeah.
That is significant. I mean, and people telling you that, oh no, don't use the Noctua because they're not, they don't move enough air. I don't think that's the case. I don't think you understand how fan curves work.
Well, it also depends on what you're trying to do. And Alex Kinnis, the guy who did the bearing video.
Oh yeah, he's working on his fan thing.
Yeah, he has a whole series that I'm waiting for. I literally have a fan shroud that I've been designing. So my existing printer that I have a V6 on it, an E3D V6.
Okay.
And I basically made a mount for it that will, if you're familiar with the Hero Me.
Yeah, I've got Hero Me's on a bunch of my stuff.
Okay.
So I also just installed my first Bullseye. So
it basically lets me use a Hero Me with an E3D V6.
Yeah, they've got Hero Me
on pretty much anything that's out there.
Yep.
And it's I'll show you the design sometime for it. I've been working on this stupid thing for like a year and a half now, on and off. I just haven't had, and it's at the point where like I need to just assemble, like print one and get a good printout, and then assemble it and be done.
Yeah.
Set inserts in place and put it together and be like, okay, now it's good. But so anyway, I've been working on that part because my challenge is I wanted to keep the existing little fan from the E3D V6.
Okay.
And then I need it to fit in a space, and I wanted to keep the like the radiator style front fan that blows the on the heat sink for the hot end.
Yeah. So isn't that a 30 millimeter fan?
Yeah. So I've got a little 30 mil fan, a thing that'll hold a little 30 mil fan on the front and hold it at about a 35 degree angle. So I've got a curved duct that goes down, and then on the sides it has basically little rails for the Hero Me to slide along and then get screwed into place, just like the Hero Me.
Okay.
So, and depending on how it works, some of it may be the basis, at least the CAD work that I've done, because I built it very modularly in CAD. So it's pretty easy for me to knock out new versions of it. But that's probably what I'm going to base the tool for the flex drive for.
Okay.
For the Jubilee.
Oh, all right.
So, I'm in the middle of mocking that up now.
Okay.
But it's just been one of those things that I've not had the time. Like, it's 90% complete. It's got some flaws in it that I'm not so happy with, but I'll see how it goes.
All right.
The biggest flaw is that it's not as printable as it was at one point now. A couple of those things where I had to like make a choice and be like, okay, this is the route it's gonna go. Left it with some not great overhangs in a couple places.
That one's not so bad.
But if all goes well, like I said, I'm working on a version of it right now for the Jubilee as well. So, well, hey, I gotta get going.
All right. Well,
the dog is doing that thing where he looks at me from the couch like he doesn't He's like, "What are you doing? Still awake?"
Why are you not laying down so I can lay down next to you?
All right. Don't forget
Yeah,
to ship
he's
something
like
tomorrow.
doing that thing. No, heck no, I'm not gonna forget to guys.
It's all right. We'll call you tomorrow.
All right.
Oh,
Have a good night.
okay.
And
So
good luck on your
Good
wedding
night.
preparations.
good luck on the wedding preparation.
Thank you.
Make sure you get to do all the catering tasting.
Yeah.
Hey, you might be nervous about it, but I tell you what, the wedding was actually really fun.
Yeah.
My wedding was, I got home after a duty night. I'd been on duty the day before on the boat, on the submarine. I got home in the morning and it's like, hey, you want to go get married? And the answer was, yeah. And so we went and woke up a friend of ours and picked up another friend and dropped the kids off at another person. And one of them was drunk already, and the other one had been up all night. We went to the JP, got the marriage license, went to the JP, and we're out by lunch. Eloping is always an option.
Not if I want to live. My fiance's mother would probably hunt me down and kill me, and her father, the Navy man, would probably help too.
I don't know. The Navy man might just like encourage eloping.
So I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, take it easy.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night. I have been just hearing. Would you guys talk?
Oh, we just babble. We don't have really. There's no plan here, none whatsoever.
No.
And I'm flipping through another Discord server that I'm part of because I'm on the dev team for a video game.
You're cheating on the Jubilee?
I am. Well, I'm on, like I said, I'm on the dev team. I'm the hardware integrator.
I'm just kidding.
For a multiplayer Starship Bridge simulator. And people have been building bridges for multiple players. And they're cramming it into little tiny corners. So it's like we have this Starship Bridge that fits 5 people in it, and it's maybe 6 feet wide.
We're so realistic.
Well, it's sort of, yeah.
So I was just browsing. I
Yeah,
came
yeah.
across this guy who did liquid cooling for his motors.
Alex Kinnis? Or for the motor?
Have you seen this HEVORT?
Okay. If you want to throw it into the live stream chat?
Yeah, I'll send you a picture. I cannot open Discord in my computer.
Oh, okay. Don't worry about it.
It's gonna say no, you can't do that.
Limited network capability.
Yeah, Discord can run only in one. I mean, I'm live streaming. No, I'm not live streaming. Voice chat, I guess. Yeah, voice chat runs on.
I think I run Discord on 3 different platforms simultaneously. Not that I actually was engaging people on 3 different platforms. It's just too lazy to close the one if I switch to another.
Oh, I can't disagree. I frequently have a channel up on my computer, or not a channel, but a server up on my computer, a server up on my. Oh, there it is. Oh, this guy, yeah, Evort. I've been seeing some of the things. He's really experimenting a lot with this, and there's some videos out there where he's pushing this.
500 millimeters per second. Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Really, this sucker.
Wow, that's so fast.
He's running it on a duet, but he's really. I mean, he's printing, but the quality is, I wouldn't even call it fair. But he's getting consistent movements without overheating because he was doing stress testing on the motors.
Yeah, I see water cooling pipes coming. to his motors. Wow.
Yeah, I was thinking if there's, I was considering asking if there's anything from coming down the pipe, and this is the Sanjay question. What are the thoughts of the Hemera with a water cooling option? Being able to put a water cooling block on it?
Well, they always water cool everything. You just got to give them a little time.
It's just a heat sinks. They just supply water to heat sinks. That's it. Nothing goes into the motor, right? It's just outside.
Well, it would be you'd put a cooling sleeve.
Yeah.
On the Hemera motor, and then well, if you're they've got some really interesting stuff that Sanjay was sharing with us here about some of their high temperature printers, and he posted pictures. It's in the Discord somewhere.
When the chat goes up really quick, I can't even follow.
Oh, you have to search.
There's a search for it, but they were printing with a chamber temperature of 300 C.
What in the world kind of material were they printing?
Some really high energy or high density engineering materials. Or maybe it wasn't 300 C. Maybe it was, the chamber temperature was way up there. And the thing had something like 3 inches of insulation on it. So, but this guy's got some interesting things. He's got the motor on his tool changer. And one of the things he was talking about is maybe switching over to the E3D tool changer design with the Jubilee remote actuator. And that's the nice thing was we could pretty much move all of the motors outside of the chamber on this design, right? Even if you drop the Z's, you put a brushed, where the lead screws come up. You put a separator plate at the bottom, and you drop the motors underneath. And then you can air cool or liquid cool the motors. And then you can actually keep even the core XY outside of the heated chamber. And if you needed to, you could do it simply by extending the rails and the motor mounts. But on the design that I'm working on is going to be able to build the build chamber, or you'll be able to do your enclosure because I'm using 2040s and 4040s for the extrusions. The design I'm working on also is going to have a half, or not a half, but a quarter of a cubic meter build volume. So 500 by 500 by 500. And it'll be fully enclosed. So, and you'll be able to do the enclosure where all the belts and rails are inside the enclosure. There's no overhang. So the outside perimeter of the extrusion fully enclosed the core XY. So. And with the 4040s and the 2040s, you'll actually be able to enclose the interior area and still have an air gap between interior enclosure and exterior. So there'll be a 40 millimeter separation there. You could either insulate or leave it as an air gap as an option. So.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you'll be able to drop the way it looks is that you'll be able to actually drop the panel into the interior slots. And, so you have a gap and a panel, but you've got a 30 millimeter space to the exterior panel. It's just something I'm playing with. That's what CAD is all about, right?
Yeah.
It's like Tinker Toys, but electronic Tinker Toys.
There we go.
I lost the YouTube stream. I couldn't get it back, so it's not you. It's on my end.
I'm watching. There are 3 people watching right now.
I need to reconnect. Actually, what I need to do is go to bed because I got to get up in the morning.